I couldn't sleep well for the last several days. And mostly it is twofold. One, I actually saw the video of the bullet hitting Charlie Cook, the destruction to his neck, the blood spurring, the fall. It was horrendous. When you see that, it sticks in your mind. Now, the question is, should people go out there and see this video, the live video of Charlie Kirk getting taken out? And my answer is yes. We need to see that video. We need to see how high-powered rifles mutilates a human body, a real human body, not a mock-up of jelly for people to kind of see what happens to flesh. They need to see what happens to a human being. Because every time there is a mass shooting at high schools, at middle schools, at elementary schools, at private schools, at events, those folks that continue to believe that the Second Amendment gives the right for anything, they should see in real time what those kids, what those friends, what those human beings had to go through when that piece of metal penetrated their flesh and the destruction that it does. That is what happens to the hundreds, if not thousands, of kids and friends who are hit because we decide that we will not have effective control on weapons of war like every other country in the world has. But what do we concentrate on? What does instead of the media putting out a message similar to this, I wanted to hear the media concentrate on telling Americans that video that many of you have seen. Imagine that occurring time after time after time after time to your kids, to your friends, to your family. The blood spurring all over the classrooms, the fright, the pain in the people's faces when they see that. But instead, the media has concentrated or attempted to deify Charlie Kirk with everybody who would listen. And it doesn't matter what type of channel it is, whether it is the purported more progressive channels or the more regressive and conservative channels. It doesn't matter which. They are all deifying Charlie Kirk as somebody who wanted civil conversation when he himself said that a few deaths a year are justified to maintain one's second Amendment rights. Well, when people went out there and decided to speak about that reality, instead of the media listening and allowing that message to get out to the people at large, instead there became a vendetta on anyone who would point out that Charlie Kirk was not only responsible for very, very hateful messages, but that he himself, with his own words, justify that the harming, the maiming of people by these weapons of war is justified, again, to maintain purportedly one's Second Amendment rights. But it's deeper. They've started firing people left and right who may say anything like that. And many of folks are thinking, well, they're firing these people because they're speaking ill of Charlie Cook, which is true. But it's also because people in their messaging will remember to tell others what you're hearing here, that these guns, these weapons of war are dangerous and evil. And what they're doing is they're maiming bodies and harming families. That Matthew Dowd lost his job for telling the truth. He said, hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which ultimately lead to hateful actions. That's not a justification for any action. That is a statement of fact. We also had Charlie Rock, a PR employee, communications intern, losing their job for a social media post. Laura Lakesley, assistant dean of Middle Tennessee State University, lost her job for making a comment. Klein ISD Derek Woods, his job for making a personal comment, a comment that many feel and that folks are asking us to hide. He said, I don't get why anyone is sad. Yes, he's leaving behind two beautiful little girls, and I pray for them. But that man was horrible. He was a horrible effing human being. He was a legit racist, homophobic, a misogynist, transphobic, nasty person. Plus, he said out of his mouth, people should die in order for us to protect the Second Amendment. None of these things that these people are saying that are being fired for. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. People are getting fired left and right. And politicians on the right are just about instigating their firing. The right-wing media machine instigating their firing. So they are concentrated on people telling the truth about a very hateful person instead of the two most important things. One, what Matthew Dowd said, if you continue spewing hate, hateful things happen. But secondly as well, that video that shows graphically as his body, his flesh is mutilated should be seen by everyone, because that is what your little boys and girls see when those mass shooters with these weapons of wars are out there doing their thing. That is what your friends at a concert where a mass event of this type occurs. This is what they see. And we're not holding those accountable. We're not holding the politicians who continue to simply offer prayers. We offer you prayers, hope and prayers. Those are the people that should be fired, the people that are not doing anything to stop these things from happening. Not for the folks given a reason to why they happen. Think about that.
All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.